Hi, my name is Alex and welcome to the Crochet Circle.
In today's video, I want to show you how to make... Okay. In today's video, I want to show you how to make this brooch. As you can see, it has a pin on the back, so you can attach it to a cardigan or a sweater or a jacket, or you can also have it on a hat. I think it's a nice accessory. I hope you can see it. It's cute and it's sparkly and it kind of livens up my black t-shirt at the moment, but I also have a black coat, so it's gonna be perfect for that as well, especially now that the winter is coming. So yeah, today this little pin, the pattern is really similar to the Christmas tree that I already showed you how to make. The only differences are, actually the differences are, this one was made with a 1.75 millimeter crochet hook, and I was using, of course, a much thinner yarn. It has a stem or a log at the bottom, it has a pin, and the base for this one was 15 and the base of this little one is 11. Now, as you can see, it can be a pin, it can be a pendant, or you can even have it as an earring. So let's begin. So here I have my yarn. This is much thinner yarn that I usually have, but I am using this for when I'm making bookmarks or when I'm making leaves for flowers. The green is of course perfect for a Christmas tree, so this is gonna be a brooch that I'm gonna be making today. The pattern will be almost the same as I already showed you, the one for this Christmas tree. I am gonna use a much thinner yarn and I'm gonna use a smaller crochet hook, and also I'm not gonna put on the base 15 chains. I'm gonna do just with 11 chains. I'm also gonna show you with this that you can actually adjust the pattern. What else I need? I want some seed beads because I want my brooch to be nicely blinged up with some seed beads, scissors, needle. Actually, this is not the right one. I'm gonna be using this really thin one, and I also already prepared it and put some red thread on it. But currently it's standing here next to me in my pincushion. As I already said it, it's gonna be just a little bit different, this pattern. I'm gonna have less chains in the beginning, so that also means I'm gonna have less rows to do. I begin with the slip knot, so I go yarn around my thumb from the bottom, I grab the working yarn and pull it through. So this is now the slip knot done. Now I have to do chain of 11, so that's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. All the rest of things are gonna be the same. Each time I go into a new row, I do a chain 1, and this is row number 1. I have to do 11 single crochets, so that's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 and 11. Row number 1 is done. Now for row number 2 I do a chain 1. Now I have to do a decrease in the beginning, but I'm gonna be doing decreases in the back loops only. So I hope you can see it. This is the back loop only, and I'm gonna go into the next stitch and grab the back loop only. Now I pull the yarn through and pull the yarn through. So that is 1. Now I have to do 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the last stitch is again a decrease. I'm gonna go into the back loop of the next stitch, so I'm grabbing 2 stitches and making 1 stitch out of it. Chain 1, in the next row 9 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now the next row is again a row of decreases. I'm still gonna do a chain 1 to go up into the next row, and now I'm gonna grab the back loop, and pull it through. So that is 1. Now I need 5 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last stitch is gonna be a decrease again, back loop only, and making out of 2 stitches only 1 stitch. Now the next row is 7 single crochets, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the next row again, it's gonna be a row of decreases. Chain 1 to go up into the next row and make a decrease, back loops only, 3 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, and another decrease, back loops only. Now the next row is 5 single crochets, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next row is a decrease, a single crochet, and a decrease. So a decrease in the back loop only, a single crochet, and another decrease. Chain 1, turn the work around and do 3 single crochets, so that's 1, 2, 3, chain 1, now a decrease and a single crochet, of course in the back loop only a decrease, and a single crochet, and the last row is a decrease. Now the first part is almost done. All I have to do now is do the edge. I'm gonna do a chain 1, and in each row I'm gonna do 1 single crochet. Now when you're doing this edge, you have to have it a bit more looser, because you don't want the edge to be pulling on either side. So I'm just doing single crochets in each row until I come to the corner stitch. In the corner stitch I'm gonna do 4 single crochets. So I'm at the corner stitch, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. What I'm gonna now also do is, you see the starting tail, I'm gonna place it on top of my work, and when I'm gonna be doing single crochets around, I'm gonna be working in the starting tail. So that means one less worry at the end when I'm gonna be snipping off, getting rid of all the end tails. As you can see, I'm holding it here, so it's nicely placed above the work, and I still can crochet it in. That's gonna be enough. I'm almost at the edge here. In the edge, on the bottom side, I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets. Now I have to go up the slope. In each row, I'm just doing a single crochet. Of course, again, a bit looser because you don't want the work to be pulling on each or either side. I'm almost done. At the top, I'm gonna do a picot. Why? Because I want a nice pointy top. So now this is the last stitch. I'm gonna do one more single crochet. Now I'm gonna do 1, 2 chain of 3, and I'm gonna do a single crochet in the same stitch. That kind of gives me the point that I need, and I'm gonna do a slip stitch to join it. I'm pulling the yarn through. I'm grabbing my needle because I'm gonna be now doing an invisible join as well. So I'm gonna skip the first stitch here. I'm gonna go into the second stitch, and I'm gonna come back from where I started. And that's it. Now this is the first part done. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work the yarn just a little bit more into the middle, and then I'm gonna make a knot because this is gonna be the back part. The front of the tree is this, where you can see nicely the edge. So I'm gonna go just a little bit more in, and now I'm gonna do a knot. And I can cut the yarn. I can cut the middle one, and I can cut the starting yarn as well because I already worked it in at the bottom. Now I have to do another one. So it's gonna be the same. I'm gonna be starting with the slip knot. Now I'm gonna be doing 11 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Chain 1 and 11 single crochets to the other side. What I'm doing here is, if you can see, I know it's a really small thin yarn, but I'm only grabbing the top loops of the chains because I'm gonna be using the bottom loops of the chains to do the edge. And I forgot to count, but let's just say it's 11 single crochets here. Now chain 1, a decrease, 7 single crochets and a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a decrease. And I'm getting my nail polish is moving off. So the next round is 9 single crochets, because the previous round had the decreases. So now I'm on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Chain 1, a decrease, back loops only, 5 single crochets, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and another decrease. Chain 1, 7 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Chain 1, a decrease in the back loop only, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and another decrease at the end into the back loops only. I know I'm sometimes kind of putting my finger in front of the lens, but I'll try not to. Okay, chain 1, turn the work around and do 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 1, a decrease, single crochet, and a decrease, back loops only, chain 1, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, a decrease, and a single crochet, chain 1, and a decrease. And now the second one is done. I'm gonna do a chain 1 and the edge, so that means single crochet in each of the edge stitches of in each row. And I have to remind myself all the time that I have to crochet really loosely the edge, because I don't want the edges to pull. Now here is gonna be actually another difference from the tutorial that I already showed you. And this time I'm actually gonna be doing, I'm gonna first put the seed beads on, and then at the end I'm gonna join it. But my starting tail, it's still going into my work, so when I finish I can just cut it. I don't need to worry about it. That's enough, so I'm almost at the end. The edge has 4 stitches, so that's 2, 3, and 4. And now going back up. In each row I just do 1 single crochet, and whenever I'm doing that I'm kind of looking that I don't just grab 1 stitch to make the corner, but I do a proper uh, gathering of the row. I am almost at the end. Now I'm gonna do 2 single crochets, chain 3, a picot, and another single crochet. And I'm gonna join it with the slip stitch. Now, because I'm gonna be using the same thread to join these two parts together, so a bit longer tail. Of course, I have to join it invisibly before I continue with anything. Seriously? Okay. It's not a proper knot, so I was saved there. So I'm not going into the next stitch. I'm gonna skip that one and I'm gonna go into the next one because I am actually overlaying the first stitch. And that's it. I am gonna work it in just a little bit because I don't want the slip stitch, actually the invisible joint, to move around much. So that's why I want the perfect tension there. And I'm also gonna make a knot. Now this knot, again, it will be hidden in the back because this is my front side and this is my back side. Perfect. So now that I have my 2 trees done, what I now need is a pin. That I'm gonna use for this brooch, and I think you can hear all my drawers opening, and that's me just looking for the perfect beads that I want to put on. And there they are. I'm gonna make it in gold. And because it's gonna be in gold, I'm gonna switch to a golden thread. And I want to secure it back so I won't lose it. So the red one goes away. I'm gonna be using the gold one because I'm gonna be using the gold beads. Now the one that I just made is gonna be the back one because I have all the yarn here and I can put the pin on nicely. So I'm gonna decorate this one. I'm gonna use some of the small beads and I'm gonna use some of the larger beads and just make it nice and blingy. Now, to be honest, you don't have to do, you don't need to be honest, bling up the backside because the backside is gonna be facing your coat or your cardigan, so there's no need to put the beads up on that side as well. So I'm just gonna be putting the beads on. I'm just sewing them in. When I'm sewing them, I'm trying to go through a stitch so that the beads don't actually move. And I know that they are secured. And I'm gonna be using different sizes of beads, so I'm gonna put some of these smaller ones here. And then I'm gonna be using a bit larger ones just to spice it up a bit. Now the next row is gonna be, let's say, these ones. They are a bit larger. Now I'm gonna go here in the middle and I'm gonna be using back the ones that I had before. And another one. Now you can do it like me, you just place them wherever you want, or you can actually make a plan, or you can use a marker to mark where you want to put your beads. Now I'm gonna put another one of the largers up here in the middle. And I'm just hoping I won't poke myself with the needle. And I'm gonna put one more small one on the top. Let's say, I think I will use some of these beads on as well. And let's just see, yes, just to make it a bit more shiny, I'm gonna use a few of these beads. That's a mix that I have because I probably used those beads already somewhere and I wasn't completely satisfied with what I was making, so they are all mixed up. But for these kind of projects where you have the variety of colors that you want to put on, you can just use all the leftovers. As I said, I want to go through a stitch. And let's make one here in the middle. I'm just filling in the gaps now. And I'm gonna put one here at the bottom. And also one on the other side, and that's it. Now this is gonna be my last bead. Actually, I want to put one more up there on top, so I'm gonna work the yarn up to the top. I wanted to have a bit more bling here on top. So I'm actually gonna go for the shiny ones and a smaller one. Perfect. Now I have to do a knot. I'm gonna work the tail, the thread just a little bit more into the middle. And make a knot. Okay, so the front side is done. I'm gonna just close all my beads so I don't make a mess around here. So that's it. All I have to do now is sew on the pin. Now I have to go down to the position where I want the pin with my needle, actually with my yarn. And I want my pin. No! I need a smaller needle, but still thick enough for this yarn. Let's try this one. So this is the position. Okay, this one goes fine. The only problem is this needle doesn't have a pointy edge. But the pin is poking me enough, to be honest. Okay, one side is secured. Now to go to the other side. If you're wondering how many times you have to do it, I would say as much as you think you need to. I think my 4 on each side are almost enough. I'm gonna do 6 on each side, so I'm just now switching back to the first loop. And now 2 more on the second one. And now that it's secured, I am gonna make a knot for just in case. And all I have to do, okay, first I'm gonna close the pin. All I have to do now is sew these two together. So I'm just gonna go in and out through both of them. And that's it. And that means the pin, the brooch, will soon be done. Just making the nice edge at the moment. Picot and picot. And down on the other side. Aligning the stitches. And going in from the back side to the front and then back. Now you have to watch each stitch. You know what this Christmas tree needs? It needs the stem, the log part. So I'm gonna do one more stitch here, and then I'm gonna quickly try and find some brown yarn and make a small log on the bottom. This one will do. I'm gonna do chain of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Chain 1, and now I'm gonna do 2 single crochets in the first stitch, 8 single crochets till almost the last stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now in the next stitch I have to do 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now I need to do 9 more single crochet stitches till the other end. Again, I'm gonna be working in the starting tail. I'm gonna then fold it in half and sew it together. I do apologize because I didn't think of it before when I was already crocheting, but as you saw, something was missing and that was it. So I'm gonna do a chain one, cut the yarn, pull the yarn through. I can actually use the second needle that I have. I'm gonna be getting rid of the starting tail. And now I'm gonna fold it so that the back side is inside. Now I just go around and sew through the single crochet stitches on the left side 5 and the right side 5, but because of the fold perhaps you won't have 5 stitches, and it's nothing to worry about, just securely kind of sew it together. Now I go to the other side and just go back to front, securing them and sewing them together. Okay, I'm gonna just make a knot at the top. And now I have to place in and sew it together. Now you can secure it with a pin, but I'm just gonna pinch it together and hopefully nothing will move. Now I have to finish sewing the front and the back together. As you can see, I'm pointing my needle through tops of the single crochet stitches of the edge. And that's it. We are back from where I started. So all I have to do now is nicely hide away this end tail, make a knot on the way, and hide it in a bit more. And that's it. Now this is a Christmas tree brooch done. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, do let me know. What else can I say? I think we're all gonna be in a nice Christmas spirit if we're gonna be accessorized like this. Now, if you want it to be made for earrings, perhaps only make 9 chains so you get smaller trees. But to be honest, this one isn't actually that big. A ruler. So this one comes out 3 centimeters wide and 4 centimeters, 3.5 centimeters tall, and another 9-8 millimeters of the lock at the bottom. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know this time you just saw me in the beginning, but I wanted to show you this one really fast and I didn't have time to do all the rest of things. So I'm gonna say until the next time, happy crafting!